Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello, lovely. Here we are with another one of our Deliciously Motivated Mindset Conversations podcast. This one's a goodie. Well, I make myself laugh every time I say this one's a goodie because, of course, it's a goodie. You would just not be here if it wasn't. We're going to talk about...
The titles are a goodie. I go, oh, this is going to be a goodie.
I know. And then like, oh, where are we going to go with this one? Strategies to trust and honor yourself. I think what lit me up about this one is the fact that you and I talk about trust so much. So that was like, to me, it was like, oh, let's see where we go with this one.
This is a real goodie.
Yes. But dear listeners, if you've been listening to us for a wee while, you know that before we get into our conversation and sharing our tips, is we just like to really encourage you to drop into a sense of heart coherence. Heart coherence is all about slowing your breath down, deepening your breath, intending that you're breathing in and out of your heart space. And just by doing that, we actually create some calmness. We settle our nervous system, and it also allows us to be more open to receiving tips and guidance and listening to the intuitive hits and nudges. So it's such a powerful thing to do. And I do these strategies throughout my day. I start my day like this, and I do encourage you to do multiple check-ins like this. So if it feels right for you, I encourage you to put one or both hands over your heart space. And like I say, let your breathing deepen and slow down. Breathing in, feeling the expansion in your chest. Breathing out, feeling the connection to the earth, to the support beneath you, whether you're standing or sitting. Just allow yourself to just arrive here. Breathe in, drawing in soothing, calming, balancing energy. And breathe out, releasing anything that might be distracting you or discombobulating you, letting it go. And one more like that, breathing in, allowing yourself to have a sense, as best you can, of connecting with my energy, connecting with Deb's energy, and connecting with the energies of anybody else listening to this conversation, this episode. We can do this so quickly and so easily. We just need to remember to do that, to connect in to this beautiful, harmonious, energetic field that we get to co-create. And taking one more breath, and then gently and subtly shifting gears into grabbing your note-taking device, because we would like to start discussing and riffing on strategies to trust and honor yourself. And Deb already said it before we even hit record. That was tip number one.
I did. I actually wrote it down before I said it, because this is exactly where heart coherent comes into play.
Yep. Trusting and honoring yourself. It sets the stage so beautifully for it.
Yeah, it does. And I think when it comes to this, even if you feel, because there's moments that we go, oh, I'm just going to tell myself I'm trusting, but I'm not really, even if you feel you're telling yourself that, you can't lie. I don't know, my head just goes, when you're in a heart coherent space, your body doesn't lie, your soul just holds you there. I don't know how to say it. Yeah,
Well, I think what you're trying to say is you can is this not the type of thing you can pay lip service to?
no,
You can't kind of go, yeah, 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 I'm in that. As
no,
soon as you do that, you're not there,
yeah.
right?
Well, it's real. It's
Mhm.
real.
Mhm.
And your body can feel it. This is exactly the thing. Your body can feel it when you're in that heart coherent place. But when I was thinking about when you were talking about this, I was just putting a few little notes aside because I think there's some real serious pain points if you're not trusting and honoring yourself.
Mhm.
I think I started thinking about the pain points, and this is where you actually put others over yourself.
Mm.
Putting others first. What is my son? Others first at your own expense. And when that happens, this is when you're not like they're really evident when you're not honoring yourself. So I think just being aware is one of them. And also the other thing with a pain point of strategies to trust on yourself is you're second guessing yourself. You come out of situations and you go, "Oh, I wish I'd said that. I should have said that. I would have said that. Why, not?" So
Woulda,
you're
coulda,
really,
shoulda.
yeah, so you're really doing a whole mental mind discombobulation, watching my words there very carefully, a mental mind discombobulation of oh, I've got to get this done, and you're really just over and over and over again, and it's a real repeated icky exercise. And I just wanted to say, because if people are going, I trust myself and honor myself, I just really wanted to paint a picture of what that looks like in whatever way feels right for you. But when you're not honoring yourself and you're not putting others, you're actually putting yourself first.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is one of them that Moira's, I'm going to say drilled into me, 'cause it seems to be drilled into me that I tell everyone, is you're drinking, you're allowing others to drink not from your cup, but actually from your saucer, the
Yeah.
overflow of the saucer. And I think that's a beautiful reminder from that, because if you're going to trust and honor yourself, have a look at have a look and see how full, how
Your
full
full your cup is.
your
Yeah.
cup is, because if it feels like it's overflowing, then you can give. If it's not, so really just I think it's the awareness. Is I'm listening to all my words and I'm like, wow, summing all this up, it's an awareness, awareness,
It
awareness.
is. It's self-awareness. It's
Mm,
self-awareness because it's such an essential piece because it's a moving target. Because to
mm,
fill your cup on any given day is going to be different to the next day,
mm.
right?
Yeah.
So
From
that's
your
why
heart.
being aware is so important.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going, depending on how deep you went with your heart coherent. And that's exactly it. That is every day is different. Every moment's different, not just days as well.
Well, we were just talking about this before we hit record too. We met a couple of days ago, you and I, and talking about a project. And at the end of that conversation, I said to you, "Oh, tomorrow I'll do this and this and this and this and this." So I had all this pieces that I said to Deb I was going to do, and then when that was going to be on my Sunday, and so then I got to that day and I just thought I can't do any of it. And so
Yeah.
that was my self-care was I don't have the bandwidth, I don't have the spoons, I don't have the energy. So therefore I'm going to, I know when I'm going to do it. It's just not. So that's what you're saying about being aware. And that's what I'm trying to say is that filling my cup was going
Mm,
to take longer on that point. And so I had to gift myself with that. That's all about trusting and honoring myself.
mm.
So I trust that I will shift my schedule and find the time to do the things that I said I was going to do. But I need to honor myself in order to be of best service to those that I serve.
Yeah.
That's the whole part of it, right?
Yeah. I think remembering that as well. And what happens when you don't? We know what happens when
Mm.
you don't. This is where you get immobilized, or you have medical conditions, or you have life gives you different strategies to navigate when you miss the warning bells, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
but the other part too, and I've said this to so many clients over the years, is that when we overgive you know, if we've depleted our cup or we start to give from our cup, resentment sets in.
Yeah.
Right? Because we are depleting ourselves, we're making sacrifices of our own well-being. And part of us is saying, don't they see all the sacrifices I'm making for them?
Yeah.
But guess what? They don't. Why
They
should
don't.
they? Why should they?
No, and even when you lose your shite, sometimes they don't then. You're like, but you keep saying yes. I didn't know.
Exactly. Like,
I
why
didn't
would
know.
I know that you were so depleted?
So I laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing because that's exactly it. When you actually address it with some people, they're like, "But you're the one we go to all the time. You always say yes. So when did you not like doing this? 3 years ago? Okay, right. Well, that's clearly an
That
issue.
that can be a bit of an offensive thing, though, don't you think? I don't know about you, but I would never want to find out that somebody was doing something just
It
because they
would.
thought they should.
Oh, I
Oh,
would
it's
hate
going to
being
offend
told.
you if I don't do this. And then you find out later that, oh my God, that person didn't like doing it or didn't want to do it. That to
Yeah.
me is offensive.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. I think with that just when we think about it, yeah, because I would be upset if you said, Deborah, I've been doing these podcasts with you for 3 years and I don't like them. I'd be like,
Yeah, I know.
what? You mean I'm getting up at whatever time in the morning to do this, and now you tell me you don't like it? Like,
Yeah,
I
don't
think
you think that's almost like having the rug ripped from underneath your feet? Because
I
you'd be
know.
like,
What
I
did
thought this
I?
was what was going on, and now you're telling me that it was all bullshit.
Yeah, I th
Bleep.
and I think if you think you had drama beforehand, you would definitely have drama after this. If
Yeah.
you because I would just yeah I would be distraught that I've missed the signs
Yeah.
telling me I haven't liked this for the last 3 years. Can we just not even say that, Deborah? I was just like imagine that.
It's
But
okay. That's not the
that's
truth.
not this is
Not the
not a
truth.
fact. But imagine it because you yourself would feel yuck
Yes.
because nobody wants to. You don't want obligation in here, and that's a full blown obligation that is just not pleasant.
No. So I'm putting that whole the
Tips that we got and
release
all of that.
obligation
Yeah.
because obligation can sometimes it's about really being clear on is that true? Because sometimes we can take on obligation, and I'm putting my fingers in quotations here, um, because we've misread that person, or we think, oh gosh, that person's going to be so devastated if I don't do this. Do you really know that?
Yeah.
Right? Actually, I was talking about something earlier, or I was preparing some teaching on phases of the moon,
Yeah.
but it was all about communication. And so the truth of it is that the right relationships for you will withstand any kind of blunt truth that you need to share.
Yeah.
If it can't, then it's not a worthy relationship, right?
Yeah. Then we've got a problem.
Then we've
Yeah.
got a problem. Yes. So therefore, if we allow ourselves to get into this sense of obligation of, oh my gosh, I have to watch my P's and Q's and I have to make sure I don't offend that person. Well, maybe you're making up a story and maybe that's not a good relationship for you in the first place.
Well, the other thing also with that you're making up a story is they're no longer that person from 10 years ago as well. I think
Hmm.
remembering that stuff, remembering that, I mean, well, look at Moira and I, we're coming up our 300th
I
episode of
know.
I mean, I don't even know if I want to go back and listen to that very first episode, but we're no longer those
No.
that, well, we've had a heck of a journey. We've
Yeah.
gone through a lot of things, and I think just knowing that makes a difference.
Mm. Yeah. And that reminds me, I don't know if I said this on a recording or if I was just saying this to you privately about a meme that I saw recently that basically said, I am not responsible for a past version of me that somebody else is holding on to.
Yes, yes, I remember that conversation. I don't think it was today. It was recently, but
No, it
but yes,
was recently, but I don't think it was when we were recording either.
I
I
love,
think
I love that. I
that's
don't even know if that was today. I love that because that is so true. That is
hmm
so true. and who you've created from me and who you've created from what you've seen and what you've heard
Yeah. Yeah.
is different to often who I am in front of you.
So this is the thing of trusting and honoring yourself, is allowing yourself to really tell yourself the truth about yourself and be your authentic self.
Yeah.
Loving and accepting all aspects of you. Such an important piece here, right?
Yeah. Well, it does go back to loving yourself, and I don't believe anyone, even if you think you've got an ex-partner who hates you and all that and wants you to suffer, I don't believe anyone generally really wants you. There's probably there'll be some out there, but if we really broke down to the core, the surface they may want you, harmed, damaged, or whatever. But in reality, people don't want people unhappy. I would like I wouldn't want to know that people are not fulfilled, that I've
Mm-hmm.
been when it like you just want people to be okay and living the fullest they can. And I think that's the other thing. People don't want you, they want you to celebrate. They
Yeah.
want you to celebrate life. They want you to, even strategies to trust and honor yourself, celebrate your small wins. They're not small, by the way, but actually looking at what are the three things I did well today? Or what's one thing I did well today, and actually trusting and honoring yourself. What's something that I didn't do well that I could work on? Like just, and I think that goes back to that self-awareness,
Yeah.
just again, having a look and building that evidence of data for you so that
Mm.
you can see and feel it. Because you're changing your brain to actually see that, oh my gosh, I do stuff. I actually do things, you know, um, from that. And because you've got the real evidence that you can't deny.
Absolutely. But you see, that's the thing. I like that, building evidence of data. I say data, not data.
Oh, data,
Data.
data. Dude, I heard that and I was like, oh, that's cute. Data, data, data.
But what that does to me is that I've often said this, is I believe that every one of us, regardless of what turmoil or trauma or discombobulation is going on, we are always in the right place at the right time. When
Mm,
we remember to build evidence of that, like sometimes it might be, oh, I missed an opportunity, or I didn't get the deadline, I didn't meet the deadline. Well, what was the win? What
mm.
proved to you that, oh yes, look, something bigger, better, more expansive, more wonderful, more yummy showed up?
Yeah, what? Yeah.
But that's what this trusting and honoring yourself, that means, oh, you know what? It's just
You
not
do need to,
not vibing with me right now, and being okay with that. Not saying, oh gosh, like my example about saying to you, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this over the weekend, and then going, "Oh, I can't do any of it."
well, see,
But
I love that for many aspects because that to me shows you and I have a trust.
yes.
Because even if we needed to get that done for that particular date or whatever, um, it's going to happen. And I'm a firm believer of that trust.
Hmm.
I think about it. It's a firm believer. I just trust,
Yep. Yep.
trust, trust. I just trust.
Well, you know that I've said that before. Trust is an inside job. So,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
and I love that you just said you trust me, and
Mm.
and that's a two-way street, but you also do, because you know that I trust me. So if
Yeah.
I looked at my energy and said, "Oh, I just
I
don't have the bandwidth to do
know.
these tasks," I know that you wouldn't go, "Well, Moira, come on, you said."
Yeah. No. And I know that time that you're doing that and you feel out of sorts, in your PEMS pillars, if you're feeling out of sorts, that when you do it, it's going to be way more phenomenal because you're going to have a different level of energy, inspiration, aliveness,
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
And even if people are laying on the couch, oh, I've got jobs, and they're laying on the couch, what they're doing is they're strategizing what order to put them into. They're actually allowing their brain to think in certain ways, and I think that's the thing, is remembering that stuff as well. um there's a
So
lot of tips in that.
there
There's a lot
is.
of tips.
But you know what? You just reminded me of something you and I've discussed before about if on the flip side, let's say you needed to do your mailer
Yeah,
and you were exhausted and you were just in a bit of a funk and you're just like, if you
yeah,
forced yourself to go and do it and say, well, I better do it, your energy gets stamped on that message that goes out.
yeah.
And that's
I
what you and I both said that before is like, when I do strategies to trust and honor myself means I am not going to do these things. Like I can't record a guided meditation if I'm exhausted
no,
because
I
it's going to be in that recording,
yeah.
right?
I had a staff member many years ago, and she just didn't like. I would write the mailer, and she just didn't like setting it up and sending it out. And she was just, I didn't know that. And all
Right,
of a sudden, my weekly mailer, people weren't opening it, they weren't reading it. And I was like, what is going on? These are written in inspiration. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out, couldn't figure it out. And I was talking to somebody, I didn't even know who I was talking to. And they just said, does your assistant actually like doing that job? And I'm like, well, she's never complained. So that
right.
means she's okay with it. But no, she didn't like doing it. She just didn't. She's like, oh, I don't like setting up. And you change one word and then the whole justification changes. And I get really, and I'm like, okay, yep, I get it. I get it. So we gave it to one of the other team members, the business development manager, and she loved doing it because this
Mhm.
was new to her. So it was a fresh little idea. My personal assistant, executive assistant, didn't like doing it, so we gave it to the business development manager, and she loved it. And all of a sudden,
You
the
probably had massive
open,
sign-ups after.
and I was like, "What the heck? What the heck? This shite works. Like this works. It's all about you." It was just another confirmation of stuff that I knew. But it just really, it's true, people. If people are not opening in mailers, have a look at all the people, all the parts that are
Yeah,
not into it.
what energy is getting embedded in it, even if you don't know. And to your point, you didn't think to say to check what the energy of your assistant was.
No, so that's the other thing is that goes back to that self-awareness. Also look at other people as well. If you're going to trust and honor yourself, I'm not saying don't say things because they're having a bad day, quotation bad day. But what I'm saying is have a good look at those around you and what are you drinking from them?
Hmm.
Because you're taking on their energy, their vibes, whatever that is.
Actually, that's an interesting point because this morning I pulled one of my Liberate Your Inner Truth cards, and
Yeah,
the card that came out was I am reflective. We are all reflective beings.
yeah,
So when we trust and honor ourselves, we want to ensure that that's being reflected in the people around us,
yes,
right?
yes,
So that's the ripple effect of it. So therefore, if somebody is not trusting and honoring themselves, then maybe we can just do a little detour and
yeah.
say,
Well, we're
I'll come
drinking.
back to you.
Yeah, we're drinking from their Kool-Aid.
Hmm.
You know, I don't even know what tips I've got written down, so I'm just going to preempt this. There's going to be a lot, just for the record, because we've talked, and I'm like, crikey, they were all little tips. So people, just so you know, grab your note-taking device. I don't know if we said that,
I did
but
say it. I did.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and write in between and hashtag them whenever you feel there's a new tip for you. Um, but I think even we talked back about that data, collecting that data.
Hmm.
Um, definitely collect the data that it didn't work so you can see it. But when you're collecting that data that it didn't work, I want you to look at what worked from that situation. So you're instantly flipping. Oh, it didn't work that I spoke to my mum at 10 o'clock at night and told her something that, didn't work. Okay, great. Clearly didn't work. It didn't work for you. It didn't work for your mum. What can you do next time that it's going to work?
Yeah, what did you learn from it? Because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
going to help you put in a good working strategy, right?
yeah. So collect that data, but if it's an icky data, change it around. And this is when you're changing these things around, they change the neuro pathways in your brain, which also gives you different energy to get stuff done.
Yep.
So just collect the data, but turn it around if it sits in a icky space.
So that makes me think
Gratitude.
of
Oh,
but bringing in curiosity into this, right?
Yes. Yes.
So being curious, because collecting data does sound a little bit dry and a little bit, a little bit
Data.
left brain focused.
Yeah.
Whereas if we can being in curiosity allows us to go, oh, like that's a good example. If you spoke to somebody and it wasn't working and you weren't getting your words out and they weren't receiving them, then be curious and say, what would serve my energy better? What would serve their energy better? And then, okay, next time I do it, I'm going to do it, earlier in the day or
Yeah.
write it out.
And I think those things are important because that's giving you awareness of others again, because knowing that, like some partners are morning people, some partners
Yep.
are night people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're trying to have a conversation with someone at night and they're a morning person, it's just not going to work.
Yep.
So I think having, by the way, I'm a morning and a night person. I don't really have a structure. My partner, she's like, are you morning or night person this week? Don't know. It's whatever I want to be. Okay, right, we're rolling with it.
We'll just check, see how it goes, see how it rolls.
Yeah, we'll just roll this one out. Okay. Deborah, the gift that keeps giving. But I think being aware of that, so then you're not blaming yourself because I should have known better. I shouldn't have gone and talked to my mum at 10 o'clock at night. Of course, and you're beating yourself up with that mental mindset again, and that's only going to get you onto that hamster wheel spiral that isn't going to be healthy for you.
So that takes me right into another tip of watching the shoulds. Because
Ah,
as soon as we go into shoulds, that's a
mm,
red flag right there.
yeah,
Because it's criticizing ourselves. It's beating ourselves up for the way something really was. And like, oh, I prefer to have it go this way. What's your
yeah.
preference? So I actually really do to watch the shoulds, because that actually can help you release obligation
Mm,
too, right? Because shoulds, if it's should, maybe it's because you're coming with an inherited agenda or a sense of obligation that's not serving and is not honoring to you.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
yeah.
Right?
Well, when you're talking about the shoulds and that releasing that obligation, that goes back to what we talked about at the start. You're second guessing all the things that you're doing. You're doubting your own decisions. Oh, I should do this for other people. And that goes back to the three questions. Is
Uh,
this good for me?
yes or
Is
no?
this good for others?
Yes or
And
no?
do I want to do it?
Yep.
And yeah, if all three are a yes, then lean in. If they're 2.5 yes, then walk away.
Nope. It's a
Nope.
definite nope.
Fingers are up. No, 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 no. And I think that's reminding that those shoulds play such. Why don't we just do a whole podcast on shoulds?
We
There's
should.
we should. We
We
should.
should do an episode all about shoulds.
Because there is so many shoulds, and it
Hmm.
can throw us right out, completely right out, right out, right out. Yeah, so forget the shoulds. I think the other thing is when we talk about strategies to trust and honor yourself, I want you to remember that you are a magnificent being, but you want to keep these promises to yourself.
100%.
And if you're not honoring that, that's where you go, well, if I can't give myself some glitter time today and schedule it in my diary and do it,
Mhm.
then how can I expect other people to honor me?
Yes.
And I think, Moira, yes.
Yes.
I think that goes back to that, because what we vibrate out, people notice, just like what we talked before about the email. But, just even just those little things, you said you're going to go for a walk today. I say that very quietly as I say that in case the dogs happen to be outside my office. And I go, what? We're going
Be
for a
careful.
walk. If you're thinking about going for a walk and you want to get up early and you keep, hitting snooze, oh, I don't want to do it, I don't want to. You're just telling yourself that you're not worthy.
Yeah.
You're just telling yourself
That
that.
you don't matter.
Yeah, you can wake up and say, oh my gosh, my body's so sore, I can't do it today. And I'm not even going to hit snooze. I'm just going to honor myself and make that decision.
Mhm.
That's it. Decision, I'm going to go tomorrow or I'm going to go later in the day. That's
Mhm.
fine when I feel it. That's okay. But if you snooze, I'll get up soon. I'll get up soon. There's a difference in that.
Yeah.
And I think the more you commit to yourself that you will keep, it builds yourself that self-trust.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's keeping your word to yourself. But
Yeah.
the other part in here too is I like what you said about when I can't honor myself, how can I expect others to honor me? That's
Mm,
such an important piece too, because a moment ago I was saying how we are reflective beings.
mm,
It's very important in here to recognize that we educate others how to treat us and how to speak to us.
yeah.
And so if someone is speaking to you in a derogatory or dishonoring way, it's a wake-up call. It's a wait a minute, what did I say or do that's
Yeah.
opened the door for this? It could be as simple as I'm not trusting and honoring myself first and foremost. I need to fill my cup. I need to be at the very, very top of my own priority list. And sometimes those types of situations can be a beautiful gift to just go, oh, wait. Need to do a wee reset on
Mm.
this, right?
Yeah, and that goes back to that honoring yourself because you're the one that's going, wait.
Yes.
You're not having other people go, wait. It's actually you choosing you over anything else. And I will say, strategies to trust and honor yourself, other people's opinions. I was a single mum. Actually, I'm still a single mum, I guess, when I think about it. Even though she's
Yep.
25, I still say that, crikey,
Yep.
that label. But, my outside influences, my family and other people like Deborah, you can't keep putting your business first over your daughter. You can't keep doing this. You've got to put your daughter first. You gotta, shoulda, oughta, should, oughta, coulda.
Yeah.
All those things. But I also knew if I didn't put my business and me before my daughter, I couldn't give her what I wanted. And they may have been sacrifices that, people say sacrifices. I don't see them as sacrifices. I see them as strategic moves I made. And
Right.
I think doing that's really be careful of what other people say and ensure that you have no guilt with your decisions you make.
Mm.
So when it comes to that guilt, just look how it's actually serving other people that you're doing this. If I was to sit down and go, okay, how did it serve my daughter that I did go to Australia so often and she got to stay with multiple different people at the weekends? Like she got different experiences that most people wouldn't do. But being able to look at the value to others, that releases that guilt. Now there were moments, I did have moments of guilt, but there was moments more of I don't have time to take on your stuff, mum, or your stuff, auntie, or I don't have time to take that on because for me I was on a mission and I'm incredibly thankful for that, but I did look at how does it serve other people and it calmed my guilt down. I was just like, okay, well this makes sense then. This
Right.
makes sense. Why would I not want any other way? So be aware of that guilt that chews into you and look how it is serving others.
And perhaps, and this is something that I've often said to clients over this, is other people's opinions are none of your business,
Mm,
right? It's so
yeah.
important to not take other people's opinions on board because let's face it, everybody has an opinion of you. Some
Oh,
people are going to love you and think, yep, you're doing the right thing, you're doing the best. And other people say, well, what's wrong with you? How come you're doing it this way? And you should be doing it the way I'm doing it. And
yeah.
it's not based on reality. It's not based on who you are. How are you wired? We are all uniquely gifted and wired, and we need to walk to the beat of our own drum. And
Mm,
and sometimes you may want to ask somebody, I've got this issue or I've got this choice to make. What would you do? How, and because you can enroll people in,
Yeah.
but also then not take it on board to just say, oh, I have to listen to their opinion, do it their way. Because
Yeah.
you don't.
No, and also no one is you.
No, they're not.
No one is you. You know, there's different. It's all around their heart coherent, whatever's going on in their mind, and their past stories that have attached to them, that they're having their opinion on things.
Yeah. And that you don't know what filters they're looking at, what their past is, what their belief system is, what their mindset. Do they have an
Mm.
agenda?
Mm.
Right? Just like, no, not taking it on board.
Yeah.
Strategies to trust and honor myself. I just need to check in with myself first. Then I'll decide who am I listening to or not listening to.
Yeah, yeah, but listen to myself. I love that. I love that. I think about this and I think, strategies to trust and honor yourself. We talked about keeping the promises to yourself, but
Mhm.
ensure that you are having your soothing self-care, as Moira calls it, or my glitter bomb moments, my
Yes.
glitter moments. And that's doing something every day that lights you up. Even if if you're thinking you love to read a book, but today I can't do it because I've got so much work to do. But just knowing that that's not unproductive, it's regenerating and um, it's expanding your own
Nourishing. It's nourishing you. Yeah.
nourishing.
Yeah.
It's filling your own cup up from those things again. But when you bring that back into your world, excuse me, that trust comes back into yourself to go, oh, these moments that I'm having are fulfilling, and that soothing self-care. You may not know what works right now, what works. So have a Rolodex. I'm going to say Rolodex. Do we all know what Rolodex are, people? Have a have a Rolodex or
Just
something.
have a wee kit. Like it could be, it can actually just be post-it notes,
Yeah.
little cards, or yogi tea bag quotes, right?
Because I
Or just
forgot my yogi
reminders.
tea bags. But yeah, any of those things that when your brain is not functioning and thinking, or you think your brain's not functioning and thinking when it is, but actually you just go on there and you go, okay, I'm just going to make that decision for me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But to your point too, and this is something that I've shared before, is my creative pastime or hobby is counted cross stitch. And I do some of that every single day, regardless of what's going on. Sometimes it's just 10 minutes. Other times it's like, oh, I get to just sit and do this for an hour. But I
I'm
do a little bit of it every single day because it lights me up. It's a beautiful day to way to decompress from my day and just kind of get reflective. And my cat likes it too because she tries to bat away at the threads and stuff.
If anyone could see me grinning, I completely forgot you love doing that, Moira, because on Friday, you wouldn't believe it, Friday night, I wanted to do something different. I picked up an old cross stitch that is called long stitch, an old thing, literally. I'm grinning going, oh my gosh, this is insane. Of course, so I picked it up and I started doing it on Friday night.
That's
And
awesome.
chose the hardest colors to start with. But anyway, we spoke to my mum on this Saturday, and my partner said to mum, oh, she's doing this cross stitch thing, and mum goes, that's fantastic. She's doing anything other than work. That's what, that's what my mum said. And I was like, see, I've got permission to do it. But what I have discovered, I realized my eyesight's pathetic. I realized that my eyesight, I'm like, hang on, I need more light for this. Oh no, does this mean I'm getting really old when I have to get more light just to see what I'm doing? But it's funny because it has been my thing. And yesterday I was like, oh, I'm just going to take some time out. My partner said, you're going back to that bloody cross stitch, aren't you? And I was like, yep. Yep, and it was in my mind. So literally, I
That's hilarious.
forgot you were doing that. I forgot that's what you love to do.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I've been doing it for years.
yeah.
That's awesome. I see. There's not something else we have now in common now.
But so I'm just honoring myself, and even though it's a banter with my partner, it's not affecting me. It's like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like she's not saying don't do it. She's like, oh my God, you're going back to that cross stitch, that thing. Because I'm quiet. Of course, she's not used to. I'm
Yeah.
just like
I see.
trading. So all of the things that she's used to is not me. Sitting on the couch, doing this quietly. She's like, usually I'm watching something or I'm creating a program. Go, what about this? And da da da. So it's
That's
all
funny.
different to her. But
That's
but
funny.
it's not, yeah. But so I think that's another thing is just that trusting myself that I'm going to
Yeah.
get through
Yeah.
this and not listen to anything else. I just realized we've gone past our time
I
to
thought
wrap
we
up.
we must have been.
I look down at the clock. I'm the timekeeper. But I think also that just goes back to that other people's opinions are none of my business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're not saying it to pick on you. They're saying it for anyway, but I had to giggle. Mum's like, oh, anything other than her business, that's a win. So I was
I
like,
love
thanks very
it.
much.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Strategies to trust and honor yourself. Let's give this a wrap up. We know the number one tip is how Moira actually started, and that was the heart coherent. That
Bring you
was
into heart coherence. Yep.
you back to the beautiful space in your heart because that's what allows you to function
Yep.
every day
I
and
had
do.
written on that it sets the stage for trust and honoring yourself,
Yes,
doesn't it?
yes, yes. Fully,
Mhm.
fully sets the stage. Yep, I love that. Next one.
Oh, the
Am
next
I doing
one. Pain points. Pain points.
those pain
So,
points? They were
so
painful. They were painful, but I felt I wanted to share some pain points to people. Like this is what it looks like if you're not thinking.
if you're
Anyway, sorry.
not so what I was thinking of when you were talking about those is that's the propensity to people please, to put other
Oh,
people's needs above your
yeah.
own, right? And so the pain point is that that's when you're giving from your cup rather than your saucer. So
Mm,
this is the trusting and honoring yourself is having that high level of awareness. And when
mm,
I'm really underlining that because that was that example that I gave that I told Deb I was going to do some work on Sunday. And
yeah.
then when I landed in that day, it's kind of like, nope, I can't. I need to really focus on, I actually did intuitive journaling for a couple of hours.
Yeah. See,
That's what
look
I
at that.
needed to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Goes back to that guilt, doesn't it? Yes. The pain points. The pain points. Um, the next one I have was self-awareness.
Mhm.
And self-awareness is just being aware of yourself, your body, your physical, emotional, mental, and how full is your cup?
Yeah.
How is it to the top? Has it overflowed to the saucer? Because if it's overflowed to the saucer, then you can share. But if it's not even a third up,
You need
then
more filling.
no one, then no one's going to get anything. And being aware of that, because I think just looking and that self-awareness, yeah, self-awareness.
Yep. I like
Yeah,
it. Actually,
that's it.
self-awareness is kind of like the thread that came through a lot of the tips that we talked about today.
Good, yeah.
Because the next one that I have here is to release obligation and to
Mm,
check in with yourself. Is this sense of obligation or should, is it based on truth or is it based on something that's a past version or an inherited belief or something that doesn't serve anymore? So
mm,
really, really checking in. If you're feeling driven to do something, just check in, put your hand on your heart and go, do I need to do this? Is this
yeah.
the right choice? Or can I empower them to do it?
Or can I empower them to do it? I
Yeah.
like that one.
Yeah.
The next one is gathering the data, and that's building the evidence of the data and just seeing where you have achieved things, where you've where you've and celebrate it,
Yeah.
celebrate whatever that is, celebrate those wins, but also looking every day and go, what worked today? And
Mhm.
if something you go, oh, talking
Tweaking.
yeah, talking, there's a new word, talking to Moira didn't work, okay, then how can I learn from this? What's the blessing in this? And looking at what can happen next time. And that was the building evidence of data where I talked about talking to somebody at 10 o'clock at night
Mhm.
when they're not a night
Not more,
person.
not a night
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
So just ensure that you write down one or two things that you did win today, and if anything negative comes up, just turn it around.
Yeah.
Oh, that was further down. I've got whoops.
Oops.
I've merged a few things in here.
That's okay. The next one I had was just we were talking about our energy. That's when I was talking about doing our newsletters or our
Yes.
blog posts or recording guided meditations, is to always remember that when we do things, we're embedding our energy. And that's why trusting and honoring ourselves is so imperatively important, because it flows out into everything that we do, whether that's the spoken word or just the energetic, here's the piece that I've written for you to read, right? So that's why this is such an important piece to being authentically and authentic and heart-led, I think, is what comes from that, right?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking when you were talking about that, I know we're condensing all our tips down, but hey, is even a couple of times you and I have turned up to record our podcast and we've just turned up and, we're yep. And then 10 minutes before it's like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. Anyway,
Yeah.
we get on the call and we're both like, I don't feel it today, or you don't feel it, or I don't feel it. And we're both like, oh, yay, yay.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
don't,
Yeah.
we literally don't record a podcast unless we are inspired.
Yep.
Unless we're 10 out of 10. Because we don't want to, I'm not going to sit here and yawn all the way through it and give you that.
And
Like, I
think,
think,
oh, I better do this, or I have to do this, or yeah. Nope.
yeah,
Just
no, no,
not gonna happen.
yeah, I think I love that part. There's a few gaps in here, and I'm just going to I'm going to throw it out there, and Moira's just going to catch up with everything. And one was be curious.
Yeah.
And that was the be curious. So turning that negative to a positive, which was the one I talked about before. So make sure you celebrate your wins, and if you don't see a win, turn your negative to positive. Turn your down. So
So just being curious, like, oh. So and so I wrote being curious, but then acknowledge the wisdom.
oh,
Right? Because there's wisdom in there. It's like, oh, that didn't work, but what was the wisdom?
yeah,
Right? Um, I have watching the shoulds. We kind of touched this already. The watching the shoulds and the sense of obligation or second guessing, that we can avoid this when we remember the three questions. Is this good for me? Yes or no. Is this good for them? Yes or no. Do I want to? Yes or no. And all three have to be a slam dunk, hell yes.
yeah,
And if there's any wobbles or I'm not quite sure, that's a no. So that right there, you see that condenses the rumination of the, oh, maybe I should, and no, I have to, and this person expects this of me. No, run it through those three questions, and it's a quick thing, right?
yeah. And I think with that also, so you might be at 10 o'clock in the morning and this might happen. And then like, no. And then 11 o'clock, it's come back into your mind. Then check in again if it's 11. If it comes in 11, like I'm not going to say check in every hour on the hour and check in if it's a yes, yes, yes or anything. But if
No.
it comes back up and it starts filtering back into your brain, go in and check. Just jump
Mhm.
in and check and see, oh, no, it's still a no.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
And that's it. The next one I had was keep promises to yourself.
Hmm.
And that is by committing to one promise every day that you're going to do, you're building that again, that data. You're
Right.
getting that evidence that I can say something and do it, and I can feel this way, or I can, and it just allows you to build that evidence that, yeah, I can trust myself
And
with
I'm
this.
an honorable person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, normal person. Yeah.
And leading from that, that's when I went into the idea that we teach others how to treat us and how to talk to us. And
Mhm.
so if we're in a situation where somebody's treating us in a disrespectful way or talking rudely to us or about us, it's an invitation to go, hey, wait, there's
Yeah,
something I'm letting myself down in some way. And sometimes that just means you can't be in my space,
yeah,
right? I've gone through a situation where that happened, and it was kind of like, I don't even need to speak about this. You just don't believe it belong in my circle.
yeah,
And that's it, right? So that's the honoring myself is, I see that, I hear it. I didn't give you permission to be like that. So you're not here. You're not in my sacred circle, right?
yeah. And I think that's a beautiful one, or which we're going into the next part about guilt. But I think that's a beautiful one because you're not saying it to be an a-hole to somebody.
No.
You're saying it because it just you have to.
Yeah.
Like
Well, because you're honoring yourself.
yeah. And I think remembering that, which goes into our next one, which is other people's opinions are none of my business.
Yes.
And if you do have guilt with the decisions you make, because that's human experience, you may have guilt, then look, how did it serve the other person? How did it serve the other person for you making that decision? And it just allows that to go, oh, okay. And it doesn't mean you're going to do this all the time, but it just means I can see how it actually served that person.
Yeah.
Just remembering that other people's opinions are none of my business.
Yep. Such an important part. We're not wired that way because we want everybody to like us and accept us. And sometimes that can feel a wee bit of a challenge, but trust me, it is a beautiful, beautiful gift.
Oh, I choose you. Yep, I choose me. Yep.
Yep. Yep. The last one, I don't know if you have more, but the last one I have here is to do something every day that lights you up. And this is like the self-soothing glitter moment. That's when we talked about cross-stitching. And I'm thrilled that you've picked up cross-stitching.
I think it's
we'll have to compare projects.
Well, I did the smallest part first. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, why didn't I just go to the biggest parts and then I could, but yeah, no.
I always start in the very center of the canvas. That's how I and then work out.
Oh yeah, I did
I've
start in the center. I actually did
always done that. Good. See, so it doesn't matter what's there.
Oh, that's funny. I chose black because I thought that's a great color to start with. Just black, very basic black. Well, yeah, I now need like a head torch to see what I'm doing with some things. Those glitter moments are incredibly important. And that's a wrap for us. That's a wrap for our deliciously motivated mindset conversation.
Well,
Strategy.
before we do that, we need a yogi tea bag because we're not getting one from you.
Oh my gosh, people, you wouldn't believe what I had to go through, and I still didn't get it. By the way, they don't sell them at airports, so I'm just gonna Amazon my order because I'm not back in America later this year. Okay, tell me the yogi tea bag.
This one's epic for this conversation. Trust is the question, love is the solution.
Oh,
isn't that perfect? Strategies to trust and honor yourself. Trust is the question and love is the solution. Love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny, I wrote a title off the side saying I choose me because I went, oh, that's a great little thing off the side. Which is just what you summed up. Just what you summed up. Well, listeners, there you go. There you go. There you go. Woo-hoo-hoo. So, as we know, there's a few things that I say at the end of this. And I want to ask you, are you showing up fully for the life you say you desire? Are you showing up fully for the life you say you desire? Because lip service just ain't getting it, by the way, sometimes. Yep. So from everything you've listened to today, I'd love to know the next step is what's the most meaningful step you can take today to honor your highest inspiration? What's that most meaningful step that you can take today that's going to honor your highest inspiration? And then let us know. And then let us know. And I'll just say, by crikey. You want to see what's coming up. OMG. You want to see what's happening next week, what's happening with our next podcast after this, because it is a goodie. We are hitting our 300th episode, and we have some goodies for you. So you just have to hold out another week, listeners, another week, and we'll be able to share. But
just get ready. There's a drum roll. The drum roll is starting for our 300th episode.
It is
exciting.
It's a goodie.
It's a goodie.
But in the meantime, today I'd love you to, what's the most meaningful step you can take today that you're going to honor yourself and your highest inspiration? So that's us on our strategies to trust and honor yourself. Thank you so much for listening. That's a pretty cool episode. Pretty cool.
I like this. This has been a beautiful episode.
Cute one. All right. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, Internet. And thank you to your yogi tea beer.
Definitely.
Your yogi tea bag. Yeah.
Tea bags. Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you, dear Deb. And thank you, Internet. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.